Okay, children, now we have discussed about the rib cage, and rib cage is made up of around 12 pairs of bones. Out of the 12 pairs of bones, the last pairs of ribs are not connected to the front portion. They are known as floating ribs, and it is connected to the back side by means of our backbone. Okay, all these ribs are connected to the backbone, and this backbone is made up of, there are 33 smaller bones are there. Okay, our backbone is made up of around 43 not 33. Our backbone is made up of 33 smaller bones are there, and those smaller bones are known as vertebrae. We will say, what is that? Vertebrae. Backbone is made up of 33 smaller bones, and these smaller bones are known as vertebrae, and they are arranged one above the other, and they forms a column-like structure on our back, and that will make our body to stand straight, and those column-like structure is known as vertebral column. What is that? Vertebral column. And through that vertebral column only our spinal cord is passing through. Related to that all you will study in your higher classes. From the brain there is a small cord-like structure is coming up to the tip of our hip region, that is passing through the vertebral column. Actually the main function of this vertebral column, they are protecting the spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord is passing through the vertebral column. And we are not talking about that, we are now discussing about the backbone or vertebral column. It is made up of how many bones? 33 smaller bones are there, and each bones are known as vertebrae. Okay, each bone is known as vertebrae. Like that 33 smaller bones are there. Okay, so these are some of the example for bones in our skeletal system. I have already told you what is the function of our skeletal system. Skeletal system is mainly responsible for providing a shape to our body. It provides support to our body. It provides strength to our body. At the same time, it protects our internal organs. Okay, inside our body there are so many important organs are there. In our rib cage, you know that our lungs are present, our heart is present. Again, the abdominal cavity also you can find kidneys are present, the digestive system is there. Almost all these parts are present inside our body. All these organs, internal organs, are protected from damage or injury by means of our skeletal system. Okay children, now let us study about different types of joints. Okay, I told you we are able to move our body parts because of certain joints in our body. What is joint? A part where two bones meet, that is known as a joint. Okay, here our carpals are connected to the forearm at a particular place. Here two bones are meeting together, and that meeting place is known as joint. So there are different types of joints in our body. We are going to study about, first of all we are going to study about ball and socket joint. What is it called? Ball and socket joint. So here I have a small model. You can observe here. Actually one end of our bone, especially this ball and socket joint, is available in our shoulder region. Okay, shoulder joint, that is called ball and socket joint. Our upper arm, the upper part of the upper arm, especially this region, you can find the top portion. You can observe there is a small globular portion is there, or it is a small ball-like structure, and that small ball-like structure I just made a model. This small ball-like, this is our upper arm. It's a portion of our upper arm model only. Just try to understand it. And the upper arm's bone. At the top of the upper arm there will be a small bulb-like portion, a small ball-like structure is there, and this ball-like structure is fixed into the cavity of the shoulder. Okay, cavity of the shoulder bone, shoulder bone's cavity. This ball-like structure of the upper arm fits into it like this. Suppose if it is the ball-like structure, if it is a cavity of our shoulder bone, and this is the upper arm's ball-like structure, it is fitted into the cavity of this shoulder bone. Okay, this is upper arm, this is shoulder bones on cavity. Here the speciality of this type of joint is it allows the movement of the bones in all direction, in any direction. That means 360 degree it is able to rotate within this joint. So that's why while we are bowling, we are rotating our hands. Okay, 360 degree we are able to rotate our hand because of this type of joints here. Okay, otherwise we will not be able to move our hand in a proper manner. So it's an example for a joint, ball and socket joint. In ball and socket joint, it's a joint in which the ball-like part of the upper arm fits into the cavity of the shoulder bone, so that the movement is made possible in any direction. So it shows a model of it, and you are also asked to do that in your textbook. Okay, you have to take a ball-like structure, and you have to take another small bone and make a paper cylinder. To the paper cylinder, one end of the paper cylinder you have to attach a small ball by using gum or sellotape or something. Then afterwards take another bowl. It may be glass bowl or any steel bowl you take. Here I have taken a disposable cup just for showing the cavity. Can you see the cavity? So then if you place this inside, it will function like a ball and a socket joint. So ball and socket joint will allow the movement of our arm in all direction, towards the front, back, sideward, like that. In all direction it is able to rotate. Such a joint is known as ball and socket joint. Okay, now we have discussed about ball and socket joint. Where it is located? It is located in our shoulder bone. Okay, in the shoulder region, or even in the hip region also you can find. Our legs are also the same thing. In hip bone also, this ball and socket joint system is there. That's why we are able to rotate our leg. Okay, 360 degrees Celsius we are able to rotate our leg. And the people, those who are doing aerobics and all, you can observe they are turning their leg, taking their leg from back, and they will keep it on the head. Okay, that much movement is able to be done because of this ball and socket joint. The next one, that is known as pivotal joint. What is that? Pivotal joint. Pivotal joint mainly we are observing in our neck region. Okay, our head is, that means especially the skull bone is fixed to the neck with the help of a joint that is known as pivotal joint. Where will you find pivotal joint? In the neck region. Okay, the neck is connected, or the skull bone is connected to the neck by means of a joint that is known as pivotal joint. Okay, so next one we will see, that is hinge joint. Hinge joint. And this pivotal joint function, let me say what is the function of the pivotal joint. Pivotal joint is helpful for moving our neck for front and back at the same time from side to side. Okay, side to side movement of the neck, at the same time front and back and forth movement of our neck is also controlled by means of that pivotal joint. Okay, now let us see hinge joint. What is that? Hinge joint. Hinge joint will allow the forward movement. It will not allow the backward movement. Okay, for example, you can see in your house, your door frame, door is fixed to the door frame with the help of something metallic structure. Have you heard about what is its name? That is hinge. It is known as hinge. It is not only, hinges are not only in that door, even in your instrument box you can find. It is having the lid. The lid is connected to the box with the help of a small hinge, so that we are able to bend it forward. Okay, you cannot bend it towards the back side. Around 180 degree it is able to work, not 360. 360 degree it is not able to rotate or move, but 180 degree very easily it is able to move. Here you are asked to do an activity. In that activity you are asked to perform, you are asked to make a model of a hinge. Here I made a small model for you. For that, what you have to take means, you can take a PVC pipe, or even you can take paper cylinder. A paper cylinder you have to make first. Half of the paper cylinder should be cut. Then paper cylinders half part you have to cut. Then you have to insert another small cylinder inside the cut cylinder like this, and on the cylinder which you placed, or the pipe which you placed inside the first one, you have to attach a pencil or a pen, so that it will, we are able to rotate it. When we are able to rotate it, you can observe it will be moving from here. That means it is up to 160 came, 160 degree we are able to bend. Again it will come another 160 here. Okay, only this much we are able to get. The total 160. This side 80 degree angle and this also 80 degree. So we are able to bend it only. So it will not come back. So the backward movement is prevented. Okay, only the forward movement. Forward movement only allowed. Backward movement is prevented. Such type of a joint is known as hinge joint, we can say. What is that? Hinge joint. Hinge joint you can observe even in your fridge also. A door is there. It will be allowed to move only in one direction. That means forward movement. We cannot make it back. And even in your door frame, you can observe hinge joint. Instrument box, you can see hinge joint. And in our body, where our hinge joints are present, especially in our elbow region, you can observe hinge joint. It will allow the movement only in a forward movement. And from here up to here we are able to spread. Okay, can you bend it backward? No. So the backward movement is prevented by hinge joint. It will allow the movement only in a forward movement. So hinge joint is available. The location of the hinge joint is our elbow, at the same time our knee. In our knee and knee and elbow, we can observe hinge joint. Okay, hinge joint is available in two places mainly. One is elbow region, another one is knee region, which will allow only forward movement, not backward movement. Okay, children, now we have discussed about different types of bones, and we have discussed about muscles and joints. And one of the bond which we discussed, that is our rib cage, that is made up of different bonds. Again, our shoulder. Now we have discussed about a particular joint in our shoulder, that is ball and socket joint. Another joint which is in the neck, that is called pivotal joint. Then another joint which is observed in our arm, that is called, especially in the elbow region, that is hinge joint. Again, in the hip region also we observed some other joint, that is called ball and socket joint. Ball and socket joint is available on our shoulder and hip. Hinge joints are available mainly on this neck region, on this elbow region and knee regions. Again, we have discussed about fixed joints also. Some fixed joints are there which are not able to move, that we found in our skull. Okay, in our skull there are certain joints, that is fixed joints. Okay, then pivotal joint we have discussed, hinge joint, ball and socket joint, fixed joints, all this we have discussed. And in your textbook page number 8.13 diagram, you can observe there is a diagram is there. It is called our hip bones. Hip bones, our stomach regions are enclosed by means of bony structure, that is known as hip region. Okay, that is hip bone. There only we found what? Ball and socket joint we found in that particular region. Okay, when we are sitting in a particular place, these hip bones are helpful for us to bear our weight of our body. Okay, hip bones are protecting our internal organ, especially in the abdominal cavity. At the same time, it help us to sit somewhere. Okay, the region is, thus bones are helpful for us to sit in a particular place. Okay, and we have discussed also again about some other bones which are not so hard. What are they called? They are called cartilage. What is that? Cartilage. Bones are so hard, whereas cartilages are soft bones. Cartilages are soft bones. And all regarding the skeletal system we have covered. In some organisms you can find their skeletal system is found outside the body, and they are known as exoskeleton, we will say. Okay, in crab you can observe outside the body they have a strong chitinous structure. Cockroach also you can observe, and they are known as exoskeleton. Skeleton which is found outside the body, they are known as exoskeleton. And the skeleton which is present inside the body, they are known as endoskeleton. Okay. Okay, now let us see about the movement of some other animals. Okay, up to now we were discussing about human beings, what are the structure of our human skeletal system, and what are the different bones present in our body, what are the joints present in our body, what is the function of the muscles, etc. We have discussed. Okay, then now let us see different types of movements which we can observe in some other animals, and those animals which are not having any skeletal system, especially like us, endoskeletal system is absent in some animals, and we will study about the movements in some other animal that is known as gait of animal. We will say gait. Don't confuse the word gait, G-A-T-E, gait, that is in front of our door we are fixing with the help of iron gate we are using. Not that gait. Here the spelling is G-A-I-T. Gait means nothing, that is the movement. Okay, the manner of walking or manner of movement is known as gait. In some animals we are able to see their gait. So in this coming portion we will study about how some other animals are moving from one place to another place. So first of all we will discuss about earthworm. Okay, earthworm, you know, they are known as the farmer's friend. They are available in our soil and they help us to increase the fertility of the soil, and they will help the soil become porous. This all work is done by this poor earthworm. That's why only these earthworms are known as farmer's friend. You might have seen that generally during the time of high temperature, especially summer season and all, whenever the temperature is high, we will not be able to see any earthworms outside. What happened to them? They are going inside, they will make burrows, and they used to stay inside the soil. And within the soil they will be protected from the hotness, so that because they are breathing through their moist skin only, and if the skin becomes dry they will automatically die. So in order to protect them from death or from the hot sun, they are making burrows and staying inside the soil. And but sometimes during a rainy season or whenever it rains for a long period of time, you can observe so many earthworms used to come outside, and these earthworms moves here and there. You might have observed, many of you might have observed the movement of earthworm during rainy season. They used to come outside because their shelters are flooded with water, so that they will not be able to stay inside water for long time. So they may come out of their burrows and they keep moving from one place to another place. And during this time, if you observe them keenly, you can observe how their movement is happening. Okay, next time when it rains, when earthworm comes, or if you dig the soil, you may get some earthworm, and take one of the earthworm and keep it in a clean place in your safe custody and observe them. Then you will be able to see how these earthworm is able to move from one place to another place. So now we will discuss about the movement of earthworm. Okay, earthworm is not having any endoskeleton or exoskeleton, is not there. And how they will move? They will have a special type of structures called setae, that is on the lower side of their body. You can find small bristle-like structures. When you see them, you will not be able to see. That is embedded inside their skin. Related to that, all practicals and experiments you will do in your higher classes. Now we don't want to bother about those structures. Just by the contraction and expansion of the body muscles, they are able to move. Now for you that much enough. Okay, earthworm moves with the help of certain contraction and expansion process. First, when they are about to move, what the earthworms do know, they will fix the rear end. Rear end means back end. They will fix to the soil and they will extend their front portion. Okay, you know, they are just like a tubular structure. Okay, earthworms are just like a tubular or cylindrical body they have. Suppose if this region is the head region and this part is the tail region, when you just observe it, whenever they are moving from one place to another place, the front portion, first they will fix the rear portion here in the soil, and they will extend the front portion, front part of the body, they will extend forward. They will extend forward. Okay, so that the front portion may reach little distance. After some time, the front portion they will fix to the ground. Then what happen? Again, they will releases the back portion. Rear end they will releases and they will shorten there. That means, okay, first they fix the back end and they will extend or stretch the front portion forward. Then after some time they will fix the front portion in the soil, then releases the rear end, then shortens the back portion of the body so that it can be pulled forward to some distance. Again what happens? Again they will fix the rear end in the soil, then they will stretch the front end forward. Again they will fix the front end, pull the back end forward. In this way, they are, by means of simply stretching their body muscles, they are moving from one place to another place. I think it is clear for you. They will have two portions. Front portion is there for their body and a rear end is also there. Rear end means that is the back end. First, they will fix the rear end in the soil and extend the front portion so that it can move a little bit forward. Afterwards, they will fix the front portion in the soil, then releases the back portion and shortens the muscles of the rear end so that it can pull the back portion again towards little bit front. Again, they will fix the rear end in the soil and extend the front end forward. In this way, by simply stretching their body muscles and extending their body muscle, at the same time by shortening their body muscle, they are able to move from one place to another place. And this movement, this type of movement in Earthworm is known as wriggling movement, you will say. Okay, wriggling movement. They are just stretching, contracting their own body muscles. In this way, they are able to move from one place to another place. Such movements you can observe in breakdance also. A person who is doing a performing stage performance in breakdance, they will lie down on the floor and just like a worm they are moving. Have you observed it? Such type of movement, we can say it is a wriggling type of movement is observed in earthworm. Simply by means of stretching their body and shortening their body. Okay, contracting and expanding of their body muscle, they move from one place to another place. And such repeated movements make the earthworm move forward slowly. Okay. I think it is clear for you. If it is not clear, you just read the lesson again and again, then you will understand it. That's all.